Hi, I'm Mega Vergan, and welcome to The Villains of James Bond, Part 2. Here in this review, video, I am going to talk about the James Bond villains from the 6th movie to the 10th. And here, we'll just start off. Blofeld, once again, is the main villain in a James Bond movie. Only this time, his features has changed a little bit His features have changed. In this one, Blofeld's plan is to destroy all crops and livestock all over the world. And he plans to do it by posing as a guy who helps people get rid of their allergies, for he have had the Angels of Death, which is a bunch of beautiful women that he claims to be helping them when really he's brainwashed them and has turned them against the world. Blofeld has a main henchwoman in this one named Irma Bunt. Irma Bunt is Blofeld's main henchwoman and does everything to Blofeld's command. Irma Bunt also Irma Bunt is also the one who has killed James Bond's wife. When she was the one shooting, Blofeld broke his neck. Both of them survived. Blofeld appeared again, but Irma Bunt didn't. And here is a clip, I'm pretty sure, from the famous ski chase from Our Majesty's Secret Service. I think this one is, it's not the real movie, of course, but... And here is Blofeld once again. His features have changed yet again. For this movie was Diamonds Are Forever. In this one, Blofeld poses as smuggling diamonds from Africa. However, Blofeld, his main plan is to create a death ray and destroy Kansas. Blofeld had two memorable henchmen, Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd. These guys are together all the time. They work together and believing that they're friends too. And what they would do is they'd kill people, tell these jokes, and hold hands as they walk away. But they'd always talk to each other in doing so. Blofeld survived yet again in this movie. However, Mr. Wint blown up and Mr. Kidd got set on fire. And Blofeld's cat is once again in here. His cat is also a memorable feature from him. The cat never changes, never goes away. Now we move on to Live and Let Die, the Roger Moore years. This is Kananga. Kananga is a heroin seller who wants to sell some heroin, causing all the other markets to go out of business for him to get a monopoly. His plans failed when his poppy fields was shot down, and then he died when James Bond shoved a shark repellent bullet in him, and he inflated and exploded. Kananga also is known as Mr. Big. Mr. Big is Kananga's secret identity. Kananga pretends to be Mr. Big. Mr. Big was an American gangster who, in the novel Live and Let Die, Mr. Big was the main villain. But Kananga was only posing as Mr. Big for 2 scenes. Solitaire used to work for Kananga, but then, early on in the movie, she became good and joined James Bond. There was also a lot of a really memorable henchman, Baron Samudi, or Baron Samudi. Sorry, I can't think right now, but anyway, Baron Samudi was in the James Bond video game called GoldenEye Rogue Agent. He was one of the villains you could play as. So anyway, moving on. Francisco Scaramanga in the James Bond movie The Man with the Golden Gun. In this movie, he is a professional hitman who is the main villain and charges $1 million per kill. He also wants to meet James Bond and prove that he's the best by killing James Bond. He of course fails when James Bond kills him by shooting him in the heart with his gun. Also has a servant named Knick-Knack. Knick-Knack is his servant, and Knick-Knack didn't die. Knick-Knack got arrested. But yeah, Knick-Knack was his servant and main henchman. High Fat, however, was Mr. Scaramanga's employer. Now, High Fat was also considered a henchman because he wasn't really the main villain, but I would consider him as more of a secondary villain. Because he was Scaramanga's employer, but then again, Scaramanga killed High Fat. Anyway, moving on. Karl Stromberg. Karl Stromberg's plan is to destroy all life above land, creating a new life under the sea by causing a nuclear holocaust between Russia and America by destroying two cities, Moscow and New York. He of course fails when James Bond stops him, and Stromberg got shot under the table a few times. Moving on. Jaws. Extremely memorable character. Jaws was actually in 2 movies, by the way. Jaws is Stromberg's professional hitman, and what Jaws does is he prefers to kill people by biting them with his steel teeth in their jugular. Jaws survived in this one to live in another one, Moonraker. But I'm doing part 2, not part 3 right now. And Naomi. Naomi was, I'm pretty sure, considered a Bond girl, because she and Bond are kind of flirting. But Naomi was also, however, she was also a one of Stromberg's henchmen, or henchwoman. She was a helicopter pilot who tried to shoot down James Bond, but James Bond blew her up when he shot her with a missile from his car. And so anyway, I'm Mega Vergan, and thank you for watching.